Jak zawsze spóźniona, lecę na kolację do Shiso Ramen. Bardzo się cieszę, że tam idę i będę mogła coś nagrać, ponieważ Shiso nie było w moim rankingu ramenów. A to dlatego, że jak robiłam mój ranking ramenów, to Shiso po prostu jeszcze wtedy nie było. Także jest to kolacja dla 4 osób, które wygrały konkurs i mam nadzieję, że pokażę wam trochę smacznych kluseczków.
Today I made a combination of the chicken and niboshi. Niboshi from the Portuguese, Portugal Europe one. The taste between like Japan and here is different. It's completely different taste. And I try to get only the umami part and a little bit of the bitterness. Normally the water from here is there 10 to 15 15 of the water molecule is dancing together. But this one completely make it separate. So this water molecule easy to go into the ingredients and take it to the taste. 3 characters we have in Japanese languages. Katakana, hiragana, kanji. 3 characters. Ramen written by hiragana. And the ramen written by katakana, different. If you're gonna written by hiragana, this ramen style is more like a Sano style. So even writing then ramen also different. I think this one is this type of the ramen a little bit. Yeah. Soy sauce I use the 3 kind of salt. One is koikuchi, which is the 3 years like aging. And sour soy sauce, a little bit sour soy sauce. Because the total balance with the ramen, I have to put a little bit acidity side. So on purpose I use this soy sauce. And but the color is I want to make it a little bit lighter, a little bit mixed with a white soy sauce, and this one and another koikuchi soy sauce. So the total balance is maybe a little bit acidity side. Maybe you can feel and salt is also a little bit less. So I think you can drink everything. Yeah. It's simple, you can drink everything. When you eat it, like then you can eat everything. Yeah, you can. Yeah. And fish flavor is not so strong. Diroku like a loin part. Okay. And second one is the bochek. Bochek with 2 slices like I'm gonna put it. And the third one is the chicken, the grilled chickens. Just small pieces, I put it. And the memma, yesterday I put it back from salt and I use it. This one is very little bit thin part. And the green onion. And then 2 wonton also inside. So it's a lot of ingredients, like toppings. So today is a special one, so special ingredients. And I'm gonna use a little bit this one. Ramen is people said it's not healthy. So we can make it a healthy way. Yeah? And this salt also actually I know that and I used before, but I didn't know more deeply. Thanks for this guy, I could connect with this like a president of this company, and we talk a lot, almost like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. We discuss about this one. And right now I know about what is this and how you're gonna use it. It's very hard to control the saltiness, but yeah, it's very good for health. Yeah. Even right now I'm buying for this salt for my parents. Please use the natural. Nuchi, it means like a life, like a, your heart.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So this one is Okinawa.
From Okinawa.
From Okinawa. Okay, here we go. So, here we go. It's hot, so be careful.
Thank you.
There we go. It's hot, so be careful. Okay, good. And this noodle is there. I know, like people like the al dente, but this one is not. More focus on the sleepiness. So when you zip it, if you can, like this, more very smooth. I think the flavor of the niboshi also going up. So that's the reason I choose this noodles. Mujimasu, if you're gonna put the heating, like it's gonna be changed the form. So if you put directly right now, you can get more mineral. In the beginning, when it's hot, normally every ramen is like this. When it's hot, you can feel the umami taste and the first like a surface oil flavor. When it's getting cold, you can start to feel the broth taste and the broth flavor. So so this one is depend on the temperatures, how you feel it's gonna be changed. But if you imagine the pork fat, it's not so healthy, yeah? Because the oil.
But it's good.
Yeah, but if you're gonna boil it for 4 hours.
Bullshit, protein is protein.
If you're gonna 4 hours, yeah, those like oil and so on is going out. So you can if you're gonna eat, you won't feel oily. It's very light. If I want to give you the strong impact of the chickens, I won't mix it. Or I'm gonna separate two types, like put in the chicken oil in the bottoms, and after put the toppings, I'm gonna put one more. So then the oil size is different, yeah? When you're gonna eat, this big size of the oil, you're gonna feel on the tongue, and your strong, chicken punch, you can feel it. But today is the combination of the chicken and the niboshi. So I don't wanna make it put the, chicken crumbs.
Yeah.
So that's why I mix it and make it a small size of the oil, yeah. So no MSG style, no additional MSG, so everything is from the natural taste of umami. So there is no strong punch, yeah. When you take it, when the noodle is very thin, you can take more broth. So when you're gonna eat it, more broth you can put it in the mouth, yeah. So noodle is like a thick, less broth. But this one is the thin flat, yeah? Smooth, but this one is connected to each other. Here, yeah? They're gonna take the broth also. You can taste in the broth, but also sleepy. Yeah, so I want to make them, sleep and drink and eat. So that's the reason, yeah, I just made this kind of. So the noodle and the broth, there is a matching each other. And how I want to make you feel, we can just change it and use it. Actually, this one I made it for the kind of Japanese people customized size. So when they are dripping up, 27 centimeter is the best set like a length for when you're dripping. After ended, you can feel the dash taste. So this length is also related. But here, it doesn't matter. People are biting and it. Yeah. So it's okay. This one is okay. I came here for drinking the vodka, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can feel that.
But I stopped drinking, so right now I cannot drink so much. But yeah. Basically, my background is a science. Yeah. I'm a science researcher, and I have a doctor also. Doctor of the genetics scientist. But from the elementary school, I'm a big fan of the ramen. And I'm eating the ramen long time, almost like a really otaku. When I was in high school, every day I visited many ramen shops. And when I was in college, I made a ramen association group. Total is I think 20 to 30 people there is. And they decided who's gonna drive today. For example, 5 cars. Okay, let's go this run, and then one by one. At least like a 3 ramen eat and coming back, yeah. So there is a ramen magazine also selling in Japan, and everything from the top to bottom, one by one, they read, and making the report, how was it, and blah 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 blah. And in that time, I also making the ramen a little bit, but it's not like right now. I'm ramen freak and I eating a lot of ramen. For sure, 1 year like more than 500 portions I ate. Maybe that's why I like this. I ate really a lot of ramen, yeah. And in Japan also, I helped sometimes a little bit of the ramen shop. And also make it at home as well, like a home cooking, yeah. But this kind of guy came to Poland. There is no ramen 10 years ago. How can I do it? So every time when I want to eat it, I have to make it, yeah. So then it realized that I cannot make the nice taste like in Japan. Then ingredients are different. Main is the water is different. And I check every water hardness, everything. There is still like my list of the Excel is left. I check them. I think around maybe 100 kind of water. I check everything, hardness and so on. Yeah, you know this is science. Yeah? So then try to
Scientific approach.
approach of the water, chickens, pork. Every case is different. The taste of the fish I made it in here and in Japan, quality is different. Actually, Japanese like a ramen ingredients quality is more higher. Last visit December, I went to Japan and I cooked the chashu at home. It's so nice. Why I could make this so nice chashu? Yeah? I just bought the pork from the supermarket. Just simply quality. Normally ramen everything quality is 75%, and the left is how you prepare. The ingredients are very important. So like this. So making a ramen, and I started thinking about how, because it takes 1 week for preparing the ramen. Make the tare and make the less 3-4 days, and then prepare the broth and make the noodles, and then 1 week later, like 3-4 bowl and finish, yeah. So how I can make it more easily? Then I started to help the restaurants. If I'm gonna teach, I can just go and I can eat it.
You don't have to do it.
Yeah. So right now, I think there is many places up here. So I'm very happy. In the beginning of my dream is kind of almost dream came true. Yeah. So this kind of story. Sorry, it's wrong. Okay. Thank you very much. So maybe next time some event, please visit again.